What's up guys, welcome back. So we're now on to part 3 of my monsters I would like to return for Monster Hunter Rise, and this time we're looking at monsters who are in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Now I would like to explain that I am going through the final iterations, I suppose is the best word to put it, of the mainline games. So with Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, it might not be monsters that only appeared in that, it would be monsters that appeared, basically all third generation monsters is what is going to be on this list. But enough about that, let's get straight into this. First up, we have Agnactor and its subspecies Glacial Agnactor. Now this is a monster I really like because I really like fire monsters. My favourite monster isn't a fire monster, but I really like fire monsters in general. No matter what game I'm playing, could be anything. I mean, in Pokemon, I've always taken the fire starter. But in Monster Hunter, fire monsters are some of the monsters that I really like to actually fight most. Now with Agnactor, he or she likes to burrow around a lot and just attack you from anywhere, and even has a hyper beam. So this is one of my favourite monsters, and the reason I remember this monster a lot is because my friends would get its name wrong. They would always not mix it up, I guess they would just combine the two names, and they would call it Agnacantor, mixing its name with Acantor. So we've always called this monster, even though it isn't called it, we've always called this monster Agnacantor, just for my friends who have always said it wrong. I know it's Agnactor, but I like to call it Agnacantor, just because it's a thing that happened when we were playing it, and it went on for years, so it has to be kept. Next up, we have one of the more annoying monsters, but who doesn't love the winged saber-tooth Baros? Now this is another monster that I feel a lot of people wouldn't like to fight because of how mobile it is, but in Monster Hunter Rise the hunter is also extremely mobile, so I think this will be another one of those monsters where it will test you on how you use the wire bug for mobility. And while it may not be a favourite among everyone, it is again one of my favourites because that's basically what these videos are about. But we're still not came to my actual favourite monster altogether. Next up we have Baros, and I'm adding this one in because when I first fought this monster I did actually have trouble against it. I could never seem to get a hold of its pattern for some reason when I first tried to fight it. Eventually I did, obviously, and I always kept attacking it in the wrong places and it would bounce off. It was just a good time. This is one of the monsters that didn't frustrate me, but if I hadn't played the original Monster Hunter games before Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate and Monster Hunter 3, I probably would have gave up on the game after this monster, but I'm glad I didn't. Monster Hunter it's in the top 3 of my franchises for all of gaming, and yeah, Baros is just a monster that needs to be in every Monster Hunter game, I think. And next up is everyone's favourite slime boy, Brachydios. My desire for Brachydios to be in Monster Hunter Rise is kind of a selfish one. Now, it is in Monster Hunter World, and a few of the weapon types for that in Brachydios got kind of shafted. They did not look good at all, and it has been revealed that Monster Hunter Rise will go back to having unique weapon looks instead of just the bone and steel look with stuff attached. So the reason I'm wanting Brachydios back is so that people can see just how good these weapons can look. Now obviously you can have a look at the previous games, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, 4 Ultimate, Generations and Generations Ultimate to see them, and I just knocked over one of my statues. But in Monster Hunter Rise that can be taken a little bit further, and That's the reason I want this monster there, so that everyone can see how this monster's weapons should look. Some of them in World do look fantastic, no denying that, but some of them are just bones with bits added on. It's kind of not right. And speaking of being shafted, the next monster up is Murder Gherkin, or Danger Pickle, or whatever you want to call him, Devil Joe himself. Now, the reason I say that he gets shafted is because he wasn't there from the start in Monster Hunter. He had to be added in a title update. I want Monster Hunter Rise to have Devil Joe as a monster from the start, so as soon as you hit a high enough hunter rank, he will start invading your hunts. That's really the only reason I want Devil Joe. He is a fantastic addition. We need Devil Joe. I was very disappointed when he wasn't in World from the very beginning. It annoyed me to an amount that it really shouldn't have. Next, Durham Boros, if I'm even saying that correct. Now, this is a mountain of a monster. Not as big as some Elder Dragons, not as big as a lot of Elder Dragons actually, but Durham Boros is a fantastic monster. I like how it uses its tail as a hammer. I like how it just runs at you. It's deceptively fast for the size of it, and it's just a really fun monster, especially when it's spinning round. When it's spinning round, it's just funny to see it knocking people away. That's really all I want to see happening in Monster Hunter Rise. Just people getting flung away by it. And now, another weird monster, Giganox. Kind of the same reason that I chose Khezu. Giganox is a weird monster, as I've said, and I think with the new art style, or graphic style, however you want to say it, Giganox could look weirder. It's just, if I had to describe it, it looks like a very pale person, only with the top few layers of their skin ripped off. It's kind of nasty. I'm sorry I said that, but that's how I feel Giganox is. I feel that's how Giganox was designed. Next up, Jen Moran. Now, I said a little while ago in the comment section of one of my videos about this that I wanted Jen Moran. I didn't explain too much why, but Jen Moran is sort of like at least to me, feels like a raid monster where you climb on its back, you break things off of its back, you plant bombs on its back, you have to use cannons and crossbows. It just feels like one of those monsters where you have to be aware at all times. I mean, that's the same for almost every monster, but with this you have to take into account the ship that you're on, because if it takes too much damage you fail. I've never seen it fail. And you've got a lot of weapons just sitting about, especially when you have to use the Dragonator on it when it's coming right for you. That's always a fun moment. And then when you get it down to enough health, or when you get it to phase 2, I should say, when it's walking towards you slowly but menacingly, that is a fantastic part as well, because you really get to see the size of Jen Moran at that point. So hopefully Jen Moran can return, and it would be nice to fight him again. If not, I'll load up my Wii U, I'll play Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. And next up, we have another one of my favourite monsters, Lagiacrus, or Lagiacrus, however you want to say this. I've always said it Lagiacrus, but a lot of people did not like this monster because of the underwater fight that you had to do with it. And I actually really liked the underwater parts to Monster Hunter 3. So, while I'm sure the Monster Hunter Rise won't have underwater fights, I would like Lagiacrus, or Lagiacrus, to return, because it's an absolutely fantastic monster. Even Ivory Lagiacrus, I think it was Ivory, and probably not Abyssal Lagiacrus, because that's always underwater, but hopefully Lagiacrus returns. it was sort of teased for Monster Hunter World or Iceborne, and it never actually came through, so hopefully this monster returns because it's a lot of fun to fight. And then we have Nibble Snarf. Nibble Snarf I really just want for the gimmick of this fight, where you place bombs, you have it eat the bombs, they blow up, and then you fish it out of the sand. That is really the only reason I want this monster to be included in Monster Hunter Rise. I think it would just be fantastic to fight this again, especially if they can somehow implement it where the new mechanic where you can launch yourself into the sky and then throw a bomb down, if they could somehow get you to do that while throwing it straight down into Nibble Snarf's mouth, that would be amazing. That's the only reason I want Nibble Snarf in Monster Hunter Rise. And then we have Volvadon. Again, another selfish reason for this one. While the monster is not really awesome, I'm just not something over again, me and my friends would always try to knock each other into it while it was farting out or pooping or whatever the hell it was doing, just to get each other covered in that stink, really. So I would hope to be able to do that to some more people, because it's always fun. And that's really my only reason I want Volvadon. And now we come to my favourite non-Elder Dragon, Nogar. Nogar is, as I said, my favourite monster throughout all of Monster Hunter. It was a damn shame that it took so long for it to be added to Monster Hunter World. Just the music, the design, the way it moves, the way it attacks, everything about Nogar is fantastic. I absolutely love this monster. It needs to be in there day one. I need to get its armour, I need to get all of its weapons. Nogar just needs to be there. And last but not least, I've done every other one alphabetically, but this one is another Elder Dragon. I know Jen Moran's an Elder Dragon, but this is my all-time favourite Elder Dragon, Alatrian. It took too long for this monster to be added to Monster Hunter World, just like Nogar. And this needs to be in there in Monster Hunter Rise day one or very, very soon after it's released, because Alatrian is a fantastic fight. It will kick your ass back and forth until you figure out how to properly kill it, and we need this monster quickly. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. There's a few monsters that I missed out because I tried to get this list shorter than 20. I'm sure it's at 13. But if I kept going, I would have just had all of the monsters from Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate in this list. But anyway guys, yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know any monsters that you want in the comment section below. And I'll see you all next time. Bye now.